wonderful story, and today I've decided to share it with all of you so that you can also experience the beauty of life. A couple of days ago, a mysterious amount of money of unknown origin, nominated as fees and hostel expenses, appeared in my bank account. The bank was treating it as a windfall payment and asking me to just keep it, even though I was not expecting it. I was trying to figure out who had lost their money originating in a non-EU bank and erroneously transferred to it. Many of you helped me with advice and some with practical sleuthing, trying to figure out how I could find the source and get in touch with them to get this sorted out. To return the money if needed, without paying the equivalent of that money to the banks as investigation. And in the midst of all of this, a letter appeared. It answered the mystery, but it also left me in a state of emotionally overwhelmed joyfulness. So here I come, sharing it. About 10 years ago, I was invited to be a visiting professor at a very prestigious private business school in India. I was excited to be talking to a different set of people, and the added bonus was that the school was close to Ahmedabad. So when I was there teaching, I could also live with my parents and spend time with my family. The school had wonderful infrastructure, and every morning a driver would come with a private taxi and ferry me to the school for over 1 hour drive. He used to pick me up at 7 in the morning, which means that he would have to get up and leave at 6 and wake up quite early. Every morning he would be there before I was ready and patiently wait, refusing tea or coffee that my parents would offer. Once we got to know each other well, conversation started. And one of the things that came up was me asking why he refused any food or drink in my house. There was this long silence before he said, "Sir, I am Muslim. You can't tell if you look, but I am Muslim, and people don't know. That is why I also don't tell them name. I just say driver from the institute. Some people don't like Muslims eating in their home, so I just say no, then they won't have to be worried." I remember being so stunned by this statement that I couldn't concentrate in class all day. Over the 4 years of visiting that institute, every summer, he drove me for 2 hours on the teaching days to and fro the institute. And we had many long conversations. In 2013, on one of the days, he looked particularly woebegone. We had gotten into the habit of talking of the sensum and the flotsam of life. So, only with a slight hesitation, I asked him if all was well. He was taciturn about it and just waved it away as personal things at home. I did not know. About a week after that conversation, while I was noticing that he was regularly looking dejected, I did not really push for more information. And then, on one evening, on the drive back, he said he wanted advice. He had a daughter who was in the 10th grade then. She was bright, sir. He said, she likes studying. We even put her in an English medium school. She gets very good marks. But now, she says she wants to study more. She wants to go for science. It doesn't work for us that way. In our community, after 10th, girls learn how to make home and get married. She knows that. She always knew that. But now her marks have come and she says she wants to study more. I listened. This was a huge deal. I was all poised to give him a lecture about letting the girl study and follow her career. But I didn't have to, because the next thing he said was, "And I want her too. I see all these young women in the institute here. I see that they have made a life for themselves. I want that for her too. I have convinced my family that she is going to not get married. But sir, I don't have the money to pay for her education. There is this community trust that gives money for girls to be studied till 10, and then they give them home training for marriage. They don't like the girls to study more. They will not give money. I asked the institute. They said nobody will support this. There is no scheme for it. I want my girl to have chances to do something big. I went to the bank. They did not give me loan because I already have loan on my house. 2 weeks since her results came. We are running around. We found a school where she will get admission, but fees for English medium science are paid. Her fees will be more than what I earn in a year. And I am going to tell her today that I believe in her, but I don't have the money. 20 years of work, sir, and I don't have the money to let my girl find her dream. He pulled to the side of the road and cried at that moment. We sat there for a while. Once he was more in control, he looked up at me. Sorry, sir. I should not do this. But and he did not have words. I nodded. I asked him to do one thing. I asked him to take me to his house and meet his daughter. He was stunned, but he agreed. We turned the car around. We went to their home. He called his daughter out, and in the public park near the house, we sat down and talked. The girl cried. Her dad cried. I cried. And before I left, I promised them that I will support her education at all costs for the next 2 years till she completes her science education and gets into a university. They refused. I insisted. We got the details of the school. I talked with the principal and made the arrangements. On the last day, he came to the airport to drop me to see me on my way back to Europe. He said, I feel very ashamed, sir. You are a good man. I feel like I pushed you in the corner by crying and forcing you to support my daughter. I gave him a hug. I told him that it was the other way around. He made me a better man because I could do something for somebody very easily. I explained to him that the money is something I could spare. It was literally the amount of money for those 20 days of work that I did as a guest officer. Less than what I earned in my job in 2 weeks. He nodded. He promised to keep me posted on her update. Twice a year since then, I get a letter from them. They would always have a small note and a copy of her grades. I know that in 2016, she cleared her 12th board exams with really good results. I knew that she wanted to study to be a pharmacist. She got admission in a good university and got a scholarship to pay for her education. She had also started tutoring young students to pay for her living. Once she got into a university though, the correspondence had stopped. I had kind of forgotten about the incident. And then yesterday, a letter arrived in May. It was sent to my old address in Germany. It was forwarded to me by the post box there. The letter was written by the daughter. She tells me that she has now found a job in a pharmaceutical research company and has been working in Pune for the last 2 years. She now supports her family, pays for young women's education and has a good life for herself. She is engaged to be married, but her fiancé also wants to wait till they build a good nest egg for themselves. And she writes, you have no idea what you have done to change my life. I'm returning the money you gave me as a gift. Now, because I think of it as a burden, but because I want to be proud of myself that I could give it back to you, what I took. I want to give this money to thank you, to let you know that I have become this independent person. Without your help, I would have been married. I think I would have had 3 children. I would not have learned how to make chemical reactions happen. It might have been small for you, it was very big for me. And now I send this money back because somebody else can use it and you can help them too. Thank you. I want to let you know that my younger sister has also cleared her 12th examinations. She has decided to study English. She is also not married. She wants to become a teacher. We are the first women in our family to ever go to college. My father made it happen and you made it happen. So thank you. I've never read anything so closely and so many times. I couldn't even translate the Gujarati text into English for this post without having to take a break. I now know why there is an unexpected transfer of money in my account for fees and hostel. I'm learning the lesson of small actions and what they can achieve.